The brand new Armasight Sidekick 640 thermal monocular. Is it as good as the RH25 and the NOX 18? No, you idiot, it's half the price. But can it hang? Let's find out. First off, guys, thank you for watching these videos. The channel's really taken off, and I'm getting calls about other new fun content. That's how this came about. I got a phone call from a guy that was like, hey man, really liked your review on your thermal clip-on. Just curious, what are you running to scan with? I said either a helmet mounted setup or the Pulsar binoculars, but those binoculars get a little cumbersome. He's like, cool, what kind of helmet setup do you run? I said RH25. He's like, what do you think of it? I said, I think it's dope. He's like, have you tried any other units? I said, yeah, I actually started with a NOX 18. He said, what do you think of that? I said, I liked it, but when I first started with that, I really didn't understand the purpose of a monocular, so I flipped it for the RH25. Not really sure I gave it a true shot it deserved. I said, why? He said, because Armasight just dropped the long-awaited release. I said, cool. Is it better than the RH25? He said, no. So what about the NOX? He said, no. I said, then why would I run it? He said, because it's literally half the price. I said, what? Why? Because now that I've been running a helmet mounted setup for over a year and spent a lot of hours behind it out in the field, I understand the true meaning of a monocular. Okay? Let Daddy explain. Guys, a monocular has one singular purpose, and that purpose is detection. That's it. All right, I'm gonna flash up some video of my field of view from my two thermal hunting setups. As you can see, even at 100 yards, that field of view may look fine, but if you're crouched over all night looking through that scope, leaning, panning, it's uncomfortable. Every serious hunter I know starts by saying, oh my gosh, I would never spend money on two setups. I've got this super expensive thermal scope. Why would I need another device? And then every one of those hunters very quickly thereafter said, oh, I get it. Panning all night, hunched over, awkward, uncomfortable position with a limited field of view is not conducive to successful night hunting. So most guys go to some sort of handheld. Handhelds are great. Again, I've run the Pulsar binos. I've had those for a long time now. But again, it's kind of the same thing. It gets cumbersome, gets a little heavy, a little weighted, and you're trying to manage a lot of things. If you're running the call and you're running your rig and you got the binos up, it's just a lot of moving parts. So I moved to a helmet mounted setup for ease of use. Now back to the reason we have thermal monoculars. Detection. All I want to be able to do is scan the widest field of view possible and see things and heat signatures that are alive. Then, as I spot them in the field, I can move to my weapon mounted optic and PID it, or positive identification. Understand what it is. Is it a coyote? Is it a deer? Is it a possum your buddy swears is a coyote, but you're like, bro, range it, it's at 35 yards. That ain't no coyote, homie. That's the sole focus and purpose of a monocular. So with that in mind, let's jump into these three units and compare them. N-vision Halo NOX 18. As you guys know, I run the Halo XRF now as my backup thermal scope. Fantastic product. Just incredible image, clarity, pretty easy functionality, what have you. Draws to this unit. The software is absolute trash as far as any video sharing. Doesn't really matter on the NOX 18 because you can't record anyway. Another draw, negative to it, if you will. Another thing, it's pretty heavy. Out of all three of the units, this is by far the heaviest at 18 ounces, which is a pound, 2 ounces. The RH25 is 13.8 and the Armasight is close to 11. Actually, with the bridge, the Armasight is lighter than both of these just with their regular hookups. Advantages. First off, it's got a Picatinny mount or the Wilcox shoe. So really neat, you can click it in and go pretty easily. It also runs 18650s, fantastic rechargeable battery. Love, love, love that. These batteries last a long time and I'm just a big fan of them. When I started with this, I was dumb and I didn't understand the real purpose of a monocular. And so I started using it and it had a good enough image, or so I thought, from handheld. I didn't have a helmet back then. I borrowed a buddy's helmet a couple hunts and ran it that way, so I did get to experience that. But mostly I ran it handheld at that time. And I got frustrated that that was all it did. So despite the fact it had a really good image and long battery life and all the things, zoom, everything, I opted out of this unit because I thought at the time, again, didn't know what I was doing, that, gosh, if I'm going to spend this kind of money on a unit, at the time was close to $6,000, it should be able to be mounted on my weapon as well. Because that's really what it's about, is having a dual purpose unit that I can use as a handheld or on a helmet or strap it on a gun. So this just isn't good enough. I'm done. I hate this thing. I want it gone. And that was my attitude towards it, because I was a moron. No, I was just inexperienced with the true purpose of it. This is a great unit. You're gonna see, when you consider the two most important things, in my opinion, which are field of view and clarity, this unit wins the day over the other two. However, when you consider cost at almost double the Armasight, and the fact that it is a better image, but how much better? 25% better, maybe 30% better. And when all I'm trying to do is detect things and then move to my weapon mounted optic to ID that, whatever that is, and then take a shot, for what you're getting for the money, that's a lot of money to spend. And two eyes are better than one. If you want to dual eye these bad boys on a helmet, that's $12,000, and that's a lot of money. That's a game changer. Now these may be a little lower now, they may be in the $5,500 range. I'm not sure what you can get them for, even call it $5,000. For $2,000 more than the Armasight, is this $2,000 better? Or in my case, I'm doing two eyes, is it $4,000? Is it worth $4,000 more? Nah, bruh. Good unit though, really quality unit. Now to the Armasight Sidekick 640, what we came to talk about. First off, it is the lightest weight by a long shot. With the bridge, this is a Raven bridge, okay, I'm running. This thing is 13.7 ounces, which is lighter than the other two units at 13.8 ounces and 18 ounces with just their mount system. So not including their bridge. So super, super, super lightweight. Also super compact. Really impressed with that. The usability of it, I've really enjoyed so far. I'm not gonna go into the details of it. If you are looking for a detailed review of this and other thermal units like it, you gotta check out YaThermalBoi on YouTube. Check out his channel. This guy is a freaking expert, man. When I went to set the settings on this thing, he's the guy I called. Really good content. Guys, go check him out. He does a detailed review of this, some of the menu stuff and all that. Check him out for that. What this review is about is the practical application and use of it. Again, remember the phone call. Yo, what are you running? RH25. I think you should try this out. Is it better than that? No, but it's half the price and it's darn close. Cool, let's check it out. So my thoughts. First off, the weight shocked me. This is fantastic. What I plan to potentially do is run 2 of these, okay? And run them through a battery pack on the back and just freaking juice it all night, bro. Just panning. 2 eyes are better than 1. Look at the field of view comparisons. The field of view on this was fantastic. Okay, this was right in line with the NOX 18. Is the image as good? No, dummy, it's half the price. I get that argument. But my biggest thing is I'm out there to kill coyotes. I want to see as wide field of view as I can so I can go to my gun and do work. All right, this had the field of view I'm looking for, much more so than the RH25. I didn't realize how limited I was in field of view on the RH25 until I looked through this and that NOX 18 again. It had been so long since I'd run one, I'd kind of written it off. Wow, this opened my eyes. If it's that much better field of view with one eye, how many coyotes am I not seeing with 2 RH25s versus 2 of these? So, field of view, this is right in line with the NOX 18. I give it an even score, field of view. About 70% the image quality. When I first looked through it, I was a little concerned, so I called YaThermalBoi up and he walked me through the settings. We like played with the settings and this came in really good. Probably my favorite thing about this so far, outside of the weight and compact nature of it, is the target mode. Okay, again, guys, it's all about detection. So the target mode, if I'm painting a field line and I see heat, the target mode glows it in red. As you can see on a man-sized target, that red was glowing out to about 125 yards. You can still see the black hot or the white hot at further distances, but I thought that was a really neat key feature, especially as I'm panning pretty quickly, eventually with 2 eyes, to pick up, oh, there's something, what is that? Flip up on scope. Okay, that's a yoke, let's go, let's roll. Really impressed with that. Is this image as good as the NOX 18? No, it's not. If I had to give it a percentage, I'd say 70% as good. In humidity, lower than that. But the functionality of it, I loved. It's got 3 buttons, all right? Pretty simple. The back one, if you tap it, it records. I love that. Why? Because all these other ones do photos with tap. Who takes a freaking photo with their monocular on their helmet? No one does, right? So now you tap it, record, boom, I'm running. This records video. The usability of it is fantastic. Big advantage. Middle button is a menu. Pretty easy to slice through. Straightforward. The button furthest away from me is the zoom. I tap it, it zooms. Freaking makes sense. Awesome. Love it. It goes 2x, 4x, and 8x, I believe. And then back down to your normal range. So that's really, really a good feature. If I want to change the color, I hold that front button down. Again, really usable. It's just easy to work in your mind when you're running a call and you're scanning for yotes or whatever your hogs or whatever you're hunting for. Just makes it easy to have that function and functionality so simple on this unit. So really, really like it. The draws. I've learned this, CR123 batteries are a waste of everyone's time on this thing, okay? I had it out last night. I ate that battery up in 7 minutes, all right? Now, it was cold, it was 24 degrees outside, but daggum, she chewed it up quick. I called Preston over at Strictly Offensive Kit, talked to him about it. He said what he does is he runs 2 separate 5,000 AH battery packs, and he said you could do one 10,000 that'll last you all night, but then you're single point of failure. So he runs 2 separate 5,000s. I thought that was a great idea and a great note, and that's what I'm gonna do. So if you do have one go down, you could obviously use backup batteries, but he said then you have the other one still going. Love that idea. Thank you, Preston. Good call, my man. This is the Raven mount. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about this, but it's really adjustable, really unique. My eyes are pretty close together, and so that helps with that. Instead of having to go out and buy the unobtainium Knights armament mount that everyone loves for the adjustability, this makes it easy. Now this current setup is set to run a PVS 14 and an Armasight, a Sidekick. I've not decided what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going to probably go to 2 Armasights, and so that'll be a quick switch and I'll be running and gunning. I cannot stress enough how light this setup is. It's amazing how quick things get heavy, especially when you go to lean onto the rifle and that weight's now up here. Even if you have a counterweight, it's just, this has been really a welcome change. Is this the greatest image I've ever seen? No, absolutely not. Especially not until you mess with the settings. This does have some lag. Painting left to right, I've noticed it's noticeable. I probably wouldn't even be showing you it if I didn't know they were already working on that. That's a simple software update. This is a true 640 unit, so the quality is there. It's just how they process that image. So I know they're working on that already, so I'm not worried about, and I was panning all night last night without that update and didn't have any issue. So all in all, it matches or beats the NOX 18 in field of view. It's about 70% the image quality. Really quickly, where can we find these if we want them, Derek? I think these are going to be a really, really hot item in the coming year for sure. Strictly Offensive Kit. I don't know how many times I got to say it, guys. These are the guys that I buy from. Preston and his team will do a consultation, talk to you about what your current setup is or what you're wanting to build, and get you set up with these Armasight Sidekick 640s. Give Preston and his team a call. Really appreciate them being the title sponsor to this video. Thank you, Preston. Strictly Offensive Kit. Check them out. Oh, the RH25. Oh, young Derek. If I could just go back and talk to you. First off, the RH25 is a fantastic unit for the money. Roughly, when I got it was like $6 grand. Now they're trading anywhere from, I think I saw a Black Friday deal for like $5,000, which is an absolute steal, or used anywhere from $4,800 to $5,200, I think is where they're trading. It's a fantastic thermal, period. I know what you're thinking, because you're thinking the same thing I was thinking when I was running the NOX 18. It's about the same price as the NOX 18. It's way lighter at 13.8 ounces, so it's under a pound with its mounting bracket. It's more compact. It's got a 25mm germanium lens, so I'm likely to see further with it and in better detail, I would think. And I can use it as a thermal monocular, a helmet-mounted unit, or clip it straight to my weapon. And then I've got another thermal or a backup thermal for my buddy. I know you're thinking this because it was the same thing I thought when I bought this. Here are the facts. If you were doing nothing but hog hunting, 10 to 75 yards, you're exactly right. Go buy this unit right now and don't look back. It's fantastic for that because you can run your LPVO down to 1 power. It looks great. It's crisp. It's clear. You can see those hogs clear as day. It's awesome. You can pop it off there, put it on your helmet, use it as a scanner in the car, driving down the roads, pop it back on. Mobile blind hunting if that's legal in your state. And there you go. It's awesome. However, if you are going to hunt past 75 yards, guys, I am telling you this from experience. Past 75 yards, this unit is useless. Useless. I've got 3 cow kills with it past 75 yards, and I'm telling you, it's useless, guys. You cannot tell. PID is terrible. You just can't. Once you zoom past 4x optical zoom, you're donezo. This thing is glitchy, and that's just not what it was made for. So again, if you've got in your head, well, I'll spend the money here because I get multi-use out of it. If you're hunting 0-70 yards, you're right. Do it. Love that. If you are hunting past 70 yards on any level of consistency, forget it, brah. This is not going to do what you want it to do. I've had this unit for 1.5 years. It's an awesome unit. It hardly ever gets mounted in this configuration. It lives on my helmet because this, for me, is useless because I'm hunting in 40 by 40 fields, or even in some of the more rolling areas that I'm hunting, it's farther than 75 yards. So unless I'm walking through brush, chasing down hogs, it's just in the right unit for me. And if you're thinking the same thing and you're hunting consistently past 75 yards, it's not the right unit for you either. Couple quick pros you can see in the video. 25mm germanium lens. You can detect things pretty far. And again, all about detection on the helmet mounted perspective. That's fantastic. On a helmet mount, it's really good. I run white hot on this one. All the color options are all pretty good. Again, good things to say about it. Guys, it's a really good unit. It's a really good unit. Your field of view is certainly tighter. So you're gonna wanna pan a little bit quicker to make up for it. It does have some glitch. The reset on it as it kind of nukes itself is a little annoying sometimes, but all in all, it's a really good unit. Just do not make the same mistake I did and think you were gonna use it all the time in this configuration, because if you're hunting past 75 yards, you are not. Closing thoughts, my 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, Derek, I've got $6,000 budget. I'm gonna do a bunch of hog hunting, close range stuff, 10 to 70 yards. And I would also like to have a little bit of a helmet mounted option down the road, but mainly looking for close range AR sort of work. And again, the ability to use something as a monocular, maybe when you're driving down the road, look in fields and see if there's anything out there. Answer for that one, that's a perfect condition for the RH25 in my opinion. 10 to 75 yards, this may be the best thermal on the market in my opinion, under the $10,000 price point. At $6,000, I think I saw some sales, they're going for like $5,000 on Black Friday and maybe $5,200 used or something, I'm not really sure. But for 10 yards to 70 yard hunting, this thing is awesome because you can run it behind an LPVO at 1 power, 2 power, and man, it is crisp, clear. It has recording capability, doesn't have sound, but has recording capability. So for that sort of scenario, 10 yards to 70 yard hunting and the ability to mount it to a helmet or use it as a monocular, I think the RH25 is a fantastic choice for you. Scenario 2, Derek, I've got a $6,000 budget. I want the best helmet mounted option I can buy for that. All I'm gonna be using it for is either a helmet mounted option or a handheld scanner. And the price is no option as long as it's not over $6,000. My opinion, NOX 18. It's got the best field of view, super crisp image. It's got zoom capability on it. It's got 2 different mounts, so no matter what your bridge looks like, you'll probably be able to mount it to it. I think this is a great option for that. It's a really crisp image. And in that $5,000 to $6,000 price point, if you just want the best of the best monocular, I think it's a good choice, NOX 18. The third scenario, and in my opinion, the most common scenario, and I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of comments on this, but feel free to jump in and argue with me, boys, because I literally made this mistake when I bought the RH25. Third scenario, Derek, I've got $6,000. I really wanna get into thermal hunting. Cool. How far are you gonna be hunting? I don't know, probably, like 100 yards, maybe max 200, 250. Perfect. So you are going to be hunting past 75 yards on a consistent basis. Yes. Okay. Here's what I would do. Take 3,000 of your 6 and buy the Armasight 640. I'm telling you guys, as someone that has been doing this thermal hunting for years, you are going to want the ability to scan, not on your optic on your gun. It is going to, 1 or 2 hunting trips out, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Take 3,000 of that, go buy this. When you look, I was gonna compare it to some 320 units. There are none in its class. There just aren't. Like, I even called around, hey, what are you guys using? There really hasn't been anything in the 320 realm outside of its predecessor, candidly, that is even comparable. There's nothing to compare it to. That's why it's fighting with these two colossals. It's probably not a fair fight, but it's one I'm excited to talk about because the guy that called me with this was right. So again, the most common scenario, scenario 3 here, take 3,000 of that, buy one of these, use it to scan, whether it's helmet mounted or just a monocular. Super lightweight, functional, recording, awesome. All right. And then take your other $3,000 and go buy one of the gazillion dedicated thermal weapon mounted optics. All right. Again, with the RH25, I thought the same thing. You're probably muttering right now as you're staring at this screen. Guys, I have killed 3 coyotes with that thing total. It does not get used on my weapon. For anything past 75 yards, it's trash. Because that wasn't its intention. You're not zooming past 4X. You're not. And again, I've killed coyotes with this thing. If you're only hog hunting and it's close range, it's baller. But if you're sitting there watching me right now thinking, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna spend the 6 because I can use it for both things. You're not gonna use it for both things. You're not. Hear what your boy is saying to you. Spend 3,000, get one of these, and then go take that 3,000 and buy one of the other dedicated weapon mounted optics. There are optics all over in the $3,000 to $4,000 price range that are fantastic thermal scopes. I mean, pulsars, iRays, Armasights. I mean, gosh, some of these ADMs, Super Yoders, guys, there are just so many good options. I tell anyone who asks me the question is willing to listen to the same thing. Only I used to not really have an option for them because there wasn't a great scanner that was also helmet mountable. It was just a handheld scanner. So I would say, spend your money, go buy this handheld scanner, and then spend the rest of it on a dedicated weapon mounted thermal optic, and you are going to be in prime condition to go out and have a ton of success thermal hunting. Guys, I hope this review was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, check us out. We're gonna do more fun reviews. Let me know what you think. And if you are people who try to learn from those who have, or in my case, who have made mistakes, hopefully this helps you. Happy hunting.